We need to talk about ICE, because what is happening right now is not normal. My name is Kat Abu-Ghazaleh. I'm a researcher and journalist who studies the far right, and I'm running for Congress in Illinois because the people I've been covering for the last 5 years, well, now they run our government. And ICE is their weapon to circumvent the law and scare the rest of us into silence. ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It was created with the Department of Homeland Security in 2002 as a response to the September 11th terrorist attacks. According to ICE, their mission is to protect America from the cross-border crime and illegal immigration that threaten national security and public safety, which might not sound quite right if you've read the news lately. Since Trump took office, ICE has deported 2 children, a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old, actively being treated for cancer. I might be wrong, but I don't really see how a 2-year-old with cancer threatens national security. Neither does Mohsen Madawi, who was arrested at his citizenship interview. He is just one of the 1,000+ students who are being targeted by this administration for exercising their right to free speech. Mahmoud Khalil and Rumeysa Ozturk, 2 of the more covered cases, were both detained without warrants. After being arrested, Khalil was moved from New York to a prison in Louisiana without the knowledge of his pregnant wife, who ICE also threatened to arrest. Ozturk's big crime was writing an op-ed in her student paper. She was kidnapped by plainclothes officers who, once again, did not have a warrant. And then, of course, we have the 238 Venezuelan men who were deported to a mega prison in El Salvador without due process. Since their deportation, it's been uncovered that 3/4 of them have no criminal record, and only a dozen of them have been charged for crimes like murder and assault. But that didn't stop the Trump administration and ICE from deporting them to one of the most notorious prisons in the world, known for its inhumane treatment and slave labor. I've seen a lot of people compare ICE to the Gestapo, the secret police in Nazi Germany. The Gestapo was responsible for mass raids against ethnic and religious minorities, mainly Jewish people, but also political dissidents like communists, anti-fascists, and people generally critical of the Third Reich. These undesirables would then be shipped off to ghettos, small, poorly maintained detention centers, or concentration camps, some of which weren't even in Germany. The U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum defines concentration camps as camps in which people are detained or confined, usually under harsh conditions, and without regard to legal norms of arrest and imprisonment that are acceptable in a constitutional democracy. And while Trump's deportations, of course, don't yet match the scale and systematic nature of the Holocaust, that definition sounds unnervingly familiar. And if you think it's distasteful to draw parallels between Trump and the Nazis, take it from Trump himself. Oh, I forgot to mention that a Wisconsin judge was just arrested by the FBI. Her crime? Allegedly stopping ICE from arresting a man without a warrant. Probably nothing to worry about, right? I find the parallels between the Gestapo and ICE compelling, but I'm not sure if they're necessary. This is happening right here, right now. This is an American organization acting under an American president to attack one of the most important institutions in any democracy: due process. Due process is the idea that the government can't take someone's life, liberty, or property without giving them the chance to defend themselves. And if you deny due process to any person, citizen or not, the system falls apart. Due process is supposed to be inalienable, something guaranteed to every human. It is the only thing standing between us and a police state where you can be arrested for anything at any time. And if you can deny it to one person, you can deny it to anyone. This is scary. It is not normal, and anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you. The road to atrocities is paved by people telling you you are overreacting. And if you're somehow still thinking, well, that all sounds bad, but they should have come here legally, well, then think about it this way. If they can kidnap people with legal visas over free speech, if they can send hundreds of people to a concentration camp overseas, if they can arrest an elected official, a US citizen, for doing her job, what can they do to you? Can they revoke citizenship from my dad or your coworker who were naturalized decades ago just because they don't like Trump? Can they detain you for years over, say, a parking ticket? Can they execute a person with no criminal record just because the president said to? We genuinely don't know. This is uncharted territory on a massive scale. And being born here doesn't matter because Trump said it himself. The homegrowns are next. This is not and was never about citizenship. It's about removing any possible dissent and minimizing diversity of thought and race so Trump can consolidate power. And while Rumesa Ozturk and Hannah Dugan and the 238 men imprisoned in El Salvador might be the first targets, I promise you they will not be the last if we don't call this out for what it is. But this can't be normalized if we don't let it be normalized. And there are a few ways you can do that in your daily life. First off, know your rights. ICE is not the end-all be-all of the law, and you have rights whether or not you're a US citizen. I've linked some resources from the ACLU in the description, so make sure to click those and read up. Second, protect your community. If ICE is in your area, record their arrests. You are allowed to do that. And make sure your neighbors know their rights, even if one or all of them are US citizens. And finally, don't accept this. It is so easy to fall into complacency, especially when the most powerful people in the country are telling you that this is how we have to live. But we don't. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to turn against each other. This is not normal. And while I know it is exhausting to care, and it's only been like 3 months of this administration, we simply cannot afford apathy right now. Stay informed, don't comply in advance, and push back against people in your life who are normalizing this tyranny. Try to point them to resources so they can learn more. They might just not know. Remember, things don't have to be this way, and a better future is possible no matter how hopeless you feel in this moment. Trump and his cronies want to wear at our hearts and minds, to erode our strength, to make us give up, and we can't let them have that. We have to hold the line here because it's the right thing to do, but also because this never stops with the first target. And once they're done with one group, it's only a matter of time before their sights turn on you.